Welcome to Spiritual Rockstar Podcast, where world-changing spiritual entrepreneurs come to deeply awaken the power within to bring forth their greatest purpose, to create massive awakened impact for millions of souls around the planet, while enjoying being in tune with all life and real wealth in all aspects of their lives. I'm your host, Daniel John Hanneman.
Hello, everybody. Good to have you here again. Welcome. We're here for another amazing episode. And today I'm here to talk about how to know who your soul tribe is and who your ideal clients. So I've been in the online business world and being with this sort of stuff since probably around 2006. And I've taken a number of trainings around finding your tribe and your ideal client and done all that stuff and discovered and learned a lot of things and doing it for myself and helping many clients with identifying who their people are as well. So I'm going to get into the wisdom I've gained around it. And even if you're familiar with the topic, again, one training doesn't make you complete, right? So if you've had other trainings, hopefully this podcast, this mini training can help you further in beginning to identify these things of who your soul tribe is and who are your ideal clients. Okay, so let's dive in. First of all, I don't know if everybody calls their tribe their soul tribe, and I wanted to distinguish that we really are looking for our soul tribe when we're doing transformational work, certainly is for sure. When we're doing transformational work for others as coaches and healers, and many of you are those people, we definitely want to know who our soul tribe is, and I'll tell you more about that in a moment. If you provide some other amazing service or product and you're a spiritual entrepreneur, still knowing who your soul tribe is amazingly perfect. And for your specific business, what's the soul energy of your tribe that you're meant to serve? So it's unshakable either way. Now, before I get into all that, I just want to take a step back from it all to just let you know that if you are just only looking for a business that works and makes money and maybe even makes a good amount of money or maybe even a lot of money, depending on what you feel a lot of money is, you can do it without having to concern yourself with things like who's my soul tribe and who are my ideal clients. It can be done, it can be done. So it's not like, I'm giving you just full disclosure, full truth. The only thing you really need to know to just make money and to be able to serve people is, what do they need, and can you deliver what they need, even if the need is perceived, because most all of our so-called needs are most of them are perceived. They're not always absolute needs, right? I mean, even health, you could have ill health, you can live with that, you could die. I mean, I'm just going to the absolute. I like to go to the deepest truth. So as long as you're meeting what the perceived need is, there's few things that are absolutely needed, if anything, really, which is very freeing psychologically, and then therefore to connect you with your true essence and spiritual self, realizing there's nothing really need. I don't even need to know who my soul tribe is. That's kind of why I'm starting there. You don't need to really know, but I'm going to tell you why it's useful to have the inquiry, to tune into it, and to bring that into your business. So first of all, you don't need to know it. So, because a lot of people, they get so crazy about trying to figure this whole topic out, and then they just spin from one tribe to another tribe to another tribe, and never get this. It becomes a problem. Like they think they ought to figure it out, and it's not working. They decide that isn't their tribe, and they go to another tribe. or a subset of the tribe, or a bigger tribe, and that was a subset, or a whole different area. And you can do all that. And like I said, you can not be selling to your soul tribe, but still doing very well. For example, I've thought about for a long time, and it may happen, it probably will happen someday. I'll probably do some of this work. I always thought like I could do really well helping certain athletes improve their performance, or really helping anyone improve their performance at any area of life, really, because there's certain energetic principles and deeper truths that if people are aware of, they'd be able to use those awarenesses and those tools to increase their performance. So I could work with anyone on the planet and help them increase their performance in any area based on those things. Now, some of it would be, of course, maybe the usual things, building confidence, things like that. But honestly, the level of confidence I bring people would take them off the charts. Because in true reality, as I've talked about in other episodes, there are no limits. And when you're living and embodied in the energy of no limits, you truly can manifest almost any sort of experience, really any experience, but most may not be very accessible in the moment to us because we feel so bounded by our sense of limitation and our embodiment in the human body. So, but we can really manifest kind of anything. So I could do that. I could tell people, hey, do you want to increase your performance with weightlifting, for example? Do you want to lift 50% more than you do now, or minimum 25 to 50% more right now, today? I mean, today, to permanently be able to lift at least 25 or 50% more weights starting today. And that's just a minimum. It could be much more than that, but how would you feel about that? So of course, I think that I would find a huge market if I learned how to teach it to groups. If I learned how to then scale it, write a book about it, I could make endless amount of money, right? Millions and millions and millions of dollars. And I can do that. I can increase somewhat what someone can lift by, and I mean, I want to say at least 25 to 50%, but even if I could do 10 or 15 to 20 to 25% instantly, not like it's going to take a few weeks, like instantly. You can, no matter where in other words, I'm talking about high performance athletes, people already there. I could do it overnight. I want to say it probably could increase it by a lot more than that. But so I can serve that. I can do that. I would do that with someone if they were really interested and they wanted to invest what it would take for them to learn that from me. Happy to share that with them and increase their performance to an unbelievable level. If they wanted to if they were already good performers, they're already doing pretty well, I could take someone from maybe finishing, like if it's their competitors and they finish in mid-tier or upper mid-tier, I could take them from that to being number one or the very highest level, and the very highest level. I could help them create that consistently with some confidence, not an absolute confidence, but pretty good confidence. They could definitely win way more matches. So let's say they're tennis players. I could guarantee them you're going to win at least 20% more matches overnight. Minimum. That's just like off the top. Kind of like 20% more on any area, like easily. So I'm having more fun talking about this subject almost than a subject I got loaded up for today, but maybe I'll do another episode on that someday. If you guys are interested in this thing, feel free to let us know, and I'll do a whole episode on that for increasing performance. So, but anyway, I'm getting too far afoot into this subject. So the bottom line is I could do very well with it. But why don't I do it? Then it's like, Daniel, oh my God, you're missing out on a lot of bucks there. Truth is it's just to me, from my infinite awareness and perspective of 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 life, and then of my view of how I'm here to serve in the world, that feels like a very small thing to do for people in those particular areas. Now, maybe if I could do it for, of course, if I could do it for them, I could do it for others. I can do it for you as a world-changing spiritual entrepreneur or light leader, that we can take whatever you are already grounded as being your level of success in any area, and we just focus on just the success, and increasing that alone. We could increase it by by 10, 20% or more, guaranteed, right away. So if that's what's our intention, if we're focused on that, and then the specificity helps to create it. So that's good to know, that it's good if you could come up with specifics sometimes too. You can tell your audience specifically what you'll do. Now, with all that being said, currently I don't do that. I may do it in the future. I don't talk about all these specifics, or increase your income by X, or increase your sense of peace by X, or whatever. Although it may be a smart idea, I haven't done it because I'm more spiritually inclined to share with my tribe, with my soul tribe, that the deeper things going on with them than just what percentages we're going to increase things by. So my whole thing is to help you to get soul aligned with who you are, and fully wake up too to the depth of awakening and enlightenment and an ascension, while doing your greatest purpose in the world at the same time, and enjoying all the life that you desire. So your greatest potentials. That's what I'm inspired to. So it's not just narrowed down to specific areas that will net you X% here or there, which might, in some cases, might be more easy to sell in some ways. But for me, that wouldn't be soul satisfying. And therefore, eventually, even me advertising such gains would probably, for me, probably might not work eventually, because if it's not soul satisfying, chances are that it's just not going to work eventually, especially in marketing and sales. If it's not producing that level of soul satisfaction, there's a greater and greater chance it just won't work anymore eventually. So if you're a sensitive, you're an empath for sure, 100%. That is 100%, that almost, I'm going to say almost 100%, because nothing's 100% probably, but almost 100% that it's not going to work. Okay, because you have to be connected. It's got to be in integrity with your soul. Otherwise, it's not going to work. So with all those things being said, I mean, it's got to be something deep to your soul to be truly soul satisfying, therefore successful for you, not just smart business. Then we have to go deep spiritually and see what's really true for us and who we're here to serve. So your soul tribe, who's your soul tribe? Well, and how is your soul tribe different than just your tribe? I don't know if there is a difference. I think it's just, I like to put it as soul tribe because it's a deep connection. It's not some just on the service thing. You say my tribe are young women that like to wear Gucci Gucci purses, and like to drink wine, and I can give all these characteristics. And emotionally, they what do they want? They want romance. They want this service. And then the emotions, they want to feel satisfied. They want to feel esteemed and supported. And okay, so like I could even channel all that. I could download all that for something specifically like say it was a product that they would be interested in, like a new label of wine, could dial all this in and get all these details, but there's no deeper soul qualities that we're tuning into. But I could say that's my tribe because I'm one of those. Maybe I was one of those people too, right? I'm one of those people. And well, if we go deeper, more deeper, and you're a spiritual entrepreneur, you go deeper into the soul of your tribe. What are the things that are really going on for them? What are their absolute deepest pains? What are the what is the reason why they're here? I mean, how are you helping them with their deeper calling, or their deeper, what more deeply calls to them? So the more in depth issues and wounding they may have, this is your soul tribe, and the greater potentials and benefits they would gain from you, and they'll be soul satisfying, not just on a surface level, but more deeper soul satisfying. I would argue most businesses, again, I'll say most, not all, because I can't say with absolute certainty there, would do better to go deeper and deeper into the soul of their tribe, rather than keeping it more surface level and trying to understand their tribe. You want to understand even the sense of the soul. What's the soul? The soul, there are many different ways of looking at the soul, I suppose, different definitions. The soul to me is the soul, is the intentionality of this energetic being that was infused when it was incarnated, and together with a sense of its true essence and its collective memories, therefore its entire energetic essence and being, not only in its true nature, in its depth, but also in its energetic frequency of what it's accumulated through its lifetimes and experiences. So to me, that would be sort of a definition of the soul. Then if we're looking at the soul tribe, it would be a whole group of people that have been on the similar or almost identical, almost sorts of rides. I mean, very, very similar anyway. Similar, and then maybe not entirely similar sometimes, but in a soul tribe, you might have some variation for sure, but sometimes very similar, almost identical, all the way down to just quite similar, lots of similarities. And that there's almost like a fabric of this soul, to the soul, collective soul tribe. So now that's what it is. Now, how do you know who your soul tribe is? I don't know if my answer will be different than anybody else's in this respect. My answer is that pretty much what you can do is you can look in the mirror, look deeply into yourself, describe what your deepest wounds are, what your deepest desires are, what your deepest potentials are, all those sorts of things, and you're looking at your soul tribe, because you're a leader. You are meant to lead or help or to support your soul tribe, the collective energy of those you're here to help. Now, there's countless businesses that do not serve just a soul tribe. I don't believe they do anyway. They're serving a frequency of humanity for sure, but this deeper collective soul tribe, probably, many businesses I don't think really are focused on that. I mean, my dad had a lawn maintenance business growing up. There was probably some characteristics of my dad and each of his clients of me apply to some degree. But then again, I'm sure there's people he served that weren't even close to the soul tribe. They might have got along beautifully, right? So, so that gets really deep with that. But to keep it a little more practical for now, I love going deep. We could just get into the depth of it all. But more practically speaking, all you have to do is just tune in, channel, and meditate, and to ask all the questions. What are your tribe's deepest wounds? What are their greatest concerns? What are their greatest desires? All these sorts of things. And find out, of course, the usual things, the demographics, age, education, the religion background, anything, what color they are, what age they are, just everything, just download everything. Sometimes people like to get their soul tribe represented by one person, right? So if you could visualize one person and do all your marketing as though you're marketing to that one person, and that's the person you think of every time you send out any marketing, can be very, very highly effective. So that's one way you can do it. I'm not giving any absolute rules of how to do things here, just giving pointers and things that might help you. So how do you, how do you do it? I mean, if you know how to meditate, you know how to listen to your intuition, you can tune into your soul tribe and just do an exercise on your own. Now, if you want to, do that together with me, I do have a meditation for that, which you can find at yoursacredpurpose.com. I believe we have one in our store that it covers tribe, the Meditate and Make Money workshop. And I also have a 2-day workshop. But I know if you opt in for the free gift, I know that you'll be given a chance to get those things at a discount. So, but anyway, so those are places where you can get an actual full deeper dive meditations of your tribe. I don't call it your soul tribe in there, but that's essentially what it is. Your pre-avatar and post-avatar. So people coming to you, how are they before they come to you? How are they after you're done with them? Looking at all angles. You want to know the people you're here to serve as best as possible. It's like showing you care, right? Just like in a relationship, you want to show you care, so you're constantly tuning in and taking the time to do that. Sometimes doing that work can be more important at times, than just taking more actions and make more contacts and just throw something out there. So really continuing to get ready to engage, but then constantly engaging, of course, too, because if you don't eventually engage and constantly engage to a certain degree, you won't have a business because nobody knows what you're doing or who you are, right? So how to discover it is look at yourself. I mean, honestly, if you just sit down and think about your own deepest pains, your own deepest desires, your own potentials, your own talents, your own gifts, like there are going to be a lot of commonalities. If you only spoke, what if instead of coming up with some imaginary or even real person that is your soul tribe and you speak to them, what if you only saw it as you're speaking to yourself every single time? Yeah, you're just talking to yourself. And so your tribe may not, they may be at a place, if you're doing transformation work, they may be at a place where they're not where you are, but they have similar issues, right? Or they may have already actualized at a higher level in some ways than you, but maybe there's pieces they haven't actualized, or even despite their higher actualization in some aspects overall, they need your support because of the work you do and how you do it. So then it just gets down to really tuning in more, tuning into who you meant to serve within your tribe. That's your ideal clients, not just only in the kind of big pool of your soul tribe. Therefore, who are your ideal clients for each of your products and services? You could dial in each and every one. And especially then if you get all the way to one-to-one, you want to be extra, it's good to become extra picky on that, like who you're going to allow to work with you, rather than the other way around, like who's going to want to work with me? Like, who am I going to allow to work with me? Because it's a big energy. If you're empathic, you're sensitive, you're going to be with this person's energy. You want to make sure they've got great energy, right? I mean, that you really feel, or you really feel connected to working with them. So you want to make sure it's a really great, perfect, ideal fit as much as possible, at least, right? So one way you can do that on that end is to just be really clear with the universe, so to speak, or source. Just say, hey, bring me only the best clients, Only the best clients, the very best clients, clients that get the best results, benefit the most from my work. Just bring me those. So whenever you're doing marketing, that's your intentions baked into this frequency. Only bring me the best. I only want the best. And then it will correspond. Um, so there's different affirmations you can use. That would be one to get to the best or the ideal. Bring me that my ideal clients. But be sure you know who they are. Again, down into every detail you come up with. What are they good at? What do they struggle with? Where are you going to take them? Where are you going to take them from here to there? So that, again, that's even true if you have a business where it's a product or a service that has nothing to do with coaching and healing directly, but you're still looking at like, who are these people? What are all the deep stuff, and who are the people that are going to benefit the best from this machine that ups their frequency? Well, that's healing. Or let's say you do spiritual line of clothing or something. I mean, that's going to help their energy. It could be healing. But like, what are their deepest desires and needs? That could get down into what colors you're sharing for your clothing line, and or your jewelry or your art, if you do those types of things. So many different things to consider. You could be someone's cosmic plumber, right? You do it, but it's in a spiritual way. Or you're just a spiritual entrepreneur that does plumbing, and you do it differently than anybody else in the world, the way you do your plumbing. Because you're spiritual, you have a whole other approach to that plumbing job than the average plumber. That could be true. I'll be able to pinpoint the problem faster. I'm intuitive. The vibe I bring in, the vibration of bringing it into wholeness is different. Now, that might sound crazy to certain people, but imagine that in your town of 20,000 people, let's say, I don't know, it might be bigger or smaller, there were only like 50 people that really resonated with the kind of plumber you are. But imagine if you could corner at least half of that market, like seeing as there's no competition, I'm sure, for that. And they're regular customers. Probably need a lot more than that for plumbing, right? Somebody have to increase their numbers. But if you serve adjacent towns, maybe 25 per town, the numbers add up. And the regular customers always call you. So, and then think about the value you have to offer. Your value is going to be way higher. So you could say like, well, the average plumber, charges whatever. I have no idea per hour. I haven't used a plumber recently, personally, but you could charge a factor of 10%, 20%, or 50%, or even I'd say up to 50%, or maybe even higher, depending on who you're serving, than other plumbers, because you're so valued that they'll throw the money at you. So, or what if you did the plumbing and you said, I can also, if you're so inclined, you could also talk about, the energetics of why the plumbing's out, right? The deeper metaphysical meaning, and address those things, man. And then you could do consults for people around the world as the metaphysical plumber. And I know it sounds funny, honestly. So you can get it just to where you're just so well positioned, so unique, so one of a kind. I think a lot of people are still afraid to be. There is a lot of stuff out there about people becoming more unique, but I still think a lot of people are afraid to become more unique within who they're serving, thinking they're going to get too narrow and nobody wants them. But that's where the internet is so great. It's like the more you specialize, the more unique you are. It can really be so much. You can really differentiate. You can really increase the amount of value of that's there for your customer. So that's the benefit. Some people aren't. It's a matter of what's your soul path is and your purpose. What are you meant to serve? Some people are meant to serve the masses, and it's not about, getting more and more specified. So when people in marketing say that it's just this way or that way, it's always a soul tribe. It's always about you being as unique as possible than any of your competitors. By narrowing, especially by narrowing who is a fit, that's definitely not a good strategy in every situation, or even the serving your highest or your greatest potential of your soul. So it just kind of depends. I would just find that in the transformational field, usually better to narrow and get more and more singular in most cases for most people. So, but it can depend, and it can depend in the moment too. Sometimes you're meant to go more singular, and then there may be a time when you're serving more people in a more general way. I think about Jack Canfield in that regard. He started off, I don't know all of it. He's a teacher as his background, I believe. And then he was teaching around self-esteem. I do know that. And then he went into teaching around everything personal development, So self-esteem, then we're doing everything and getting more and more expansive in the markets, because I think his markets used to be, I'm not sure on this, but I think they were more select, and then they expanded. So you can hire Jack Canfield, sure, for corporate training, all kinds of things. Lay out that money. I mean, he'll come and he'll teach his principles to all kinds of organizations, I'm guessing. So I don't know, but I'm just guessing. So anyway, so I'm not here to hand it to you today to say, here's everything you can do to know who your soul tribe is and who your exact ideal clients are. But I'm just giving the overlay, and you can do the deeper work. But it's just a podcast, so we're not here doing all that work. But you can definitely get more at my website, at yoursacredpurpose.com. You can get a free energy scan consultation with me if you really want to go deep with me. So you can check that out too, if you're serious. And then otherwise, you can just opt in for the Meditate and Make Money, which is always great. People tuning in and every day, and see your money just joyfully just manifest with ease, get you past your old stuff. And it's amazing the way it can work for people. So, but yeah, within that, then you'll get an immediate opportunity to get more support that'll include addressing who is your tribe. It'll get into more detailed questions that I've been pointing to today. So if you want a meditation and a process of working with all that for me and more, it offers much more than that in terms of looking at your purpose and your gifts and your whole entire way of being to meditate and make money. So check it out at yoursacredpurpose.com. And yeah, the last thing I'll say is that when you think about your ideal clients, just be willing to be more uncompromising. The more you're willing to be more uncompromising who you'll serve, the more likely it is you'll have exactly the type of clients you want. So look at it this way. Let's say you decide that you're only going to eat organic food, for example. Let's just go there. Let's say we want to be organic and vegan. Let's just say that. If you want to be organic and vegan, but the area you live in doesn't fully support that, it seems like it's really hard to just be able to eat what you really want to eat and always feel like you need to eat, be able to get all organic and all the best of the best and all vegan, or even looking online, it's just too pricey or it's too expensive or whatever the concept is. And then let's say the rest of your family is they eat everything. They eat, and mostly there's all junk in the house. Let's just say that's true. Well, think of that environment as being somewhat similar to the world. The world's got a lot of crazy energy, and it's got it all out there. But if you really meant to go in a certain direction, serve a certain thing, then that's what you need to focus on, not everything else. So I think the mistake people make is when they're a business and they want to work with who their ideal client is, I think what gets in the way for us is that it's probably happened to me a few times. Okay. I mean, I am kind of, of course it's happened to me in my life. So is what happens is, okay, I need to eat, I need a client. So then we start scrambling to do whatever it takes to just eat, to just have a client. And then we'll lower our prices. We'll offer anything just so someone will pay us. And of course, we want to help people. Of course, it's always the primary thing, but do whatever we can to get a client. And then sometimes when you do that, it gets harder to get clients, even get any clients, much less higher paying clients. So I don't want to be demeaning to other people, but like it's almost like decide I'm going to eat the junk food. I'm going to eat the stuff. I'm going to eat the meat, even though you're vegan. I mean, so if you do that, then you just suffer the natural consequences of it. That's all. And eventually, hopefully in this lifetime, you'll wake up and decide that this isn't working for you, and you're going to change your, you're going to shift your focus and your attention and your commitment to the highest. Because that's what it takes. I mean, you can't say just because you don't know how you're going to eat organic, vegan, and everything, and eat all the specific foods that would serve your health the best, and you just don't know how to do it, maybe for whatever reasons, to just give up and just eat everything, not to eat what you're meant to be eating based on what you know to be true for you. So when you know your deepest truth, when you know who your ideal clients are, when you really start arriving to the idea, that truth, then you have to commit. And it means that you might skip some meals. You might, while you're figuring it out, you might get a little leaner for a while. Knowing the reward will be so big because you can receive 2 to 3 to 5 to 10-fold or more from, especially in a one-to-one practice. Let's say, for example, experience 2, 3, 5, 10-fold more from your ideal clients financially in the short and long run than trying to sell just to anybody that you can help with your gifts or with your product or service or whatever it may be. So keep that in mind. It's a short-term hit. Maybe not to scramble and offer old stuff or lower price stuff. And a lot of people are doing things like pandemic pricing and things. I think that's okay. I mean, if it's a product, maybe, but even maybe for their individual services, okay, we're going to do pandemic prices. That's your time. I mean, you can't do that. Or at least I don't advise it. I don't advise it for most of you. Again, there could always be one exception here or there, but for the most part, I don't advise it. So be willing to go lean. Cycles of when people didn't even know how to give food for long periods of time. I think people died off then, but I mean, some people, the strong survived and they feasted. One times were lusher. So, but they did it. You'll do it in those times, and every time you'll do it when your intent is clear and you're focused. You don't just stay that way and then give up and then go to the old ways. That's how you never progress. That's how people that don't lose weight, for example, one of the main reasons why they never really lose all the weight they want to lose, they keep giving in. So you can't. If you want to be as successful as you possibly can, as impactful as possible, and serve the highest, and be doing your truest purpose, you have to commit to it. You have to stay focused on it. You have to follow all the way through. You can't just keep going back to your day job. All those things. So all that applies to having your ideal clients. Okay, and then you want to be charging, to your ideal clients more significantly than you would for just anybody. And And it's because you can help them more. There's going to be more of a soul benefit, soul satisfaction benefit. That'll be more important than even the tangible benefits. Because someone feels in their soul they're meant to work with you. It almost doesn't matter what you're selling. They'll value so much that they're willing to pay what people call premium prices for it, because money is just a value game. It's one of the main things it is. It's a value game. And it's just a matter of how much are you valuing you and what you offer and to your soul tribe, and to your ideal clients, not just anybody in the soul tribe for anything and everything, but your ideal clients for the product or service, and nailing that and being committed to that, knowing that every ideal client is going to look exactly the same, but they're going to have certain commonalities. You just do your best to serve those at the highest and not go like 2 or 3 or 4 or 100 steps away from, a variation of who your truly ideal client is. So, okay, anyway, so I hope this is helpful to you. And if you have a lot of questions about how to figure all this stuff out still, and my instructions seem way too basic, just check out my website or contact me. I can give you exercises and specific work to help you absolutely easily with all of these things. So, and you can never do the work enough, by the way. If you've done this work a lot already, you could never do it. Well, my point is too much. Let me say too much, not enough. But not that is never enough, but like you can never do it too much is what I'm trying to say. You can always do more of it. And so more clarity is better than less. Okay, well, that's it. I'm going to leave it at that. So this is going to go on way too long today. So anyway, so if you want to check all this out, the Meditate Make Money and the opportunities to meditate with me on this subject and many other things, you can go to yoursacredpurpose.com and check everything out there. So anyway, so grateful for you listening in to this podcast. All my love to you. Many blessings, and you keep on tuning in here, and we'll keep on rocking it here at Spiritual Rockstar Podcasts. Till next time.
You're listening to Spiritual Rockstar Podcast. Stay tuned for our next upcoming new episodes each Wednesday and Saturday. Please be sure to subscribe, rate, and review to help us to serve you best. As a reminder, you can get your free Meditate and Make Money meditation at www.yoursacredpurpose.com to rock your sacred purpose. Goodbye for now, everybody.